So, you already are that which you are seeking. The basic act of looking allows for being. So, when you're looking for Source, Source is also looking for you just as hard. And I mean, we can implement all sorts of different practices into our daily routine that may or may not benefit that. But it's the dedication, it's the effort behind it. That's where the magic begins. So I do spiritual advising as kind of a hobby, um, because it's nice to see people finding themselves, finding the self, and it's magical when it happens. So I had a guy come to me and ask for help, and he was a nice guy, but there was a lot of pain, and I knew it would be a tough task, but I was willing. And so I had a few meetings with him, and he got more and more erratic. And then sometimes he would not be so erratic. And I realized he was on drugs. And once I mentioned that, and he wouldn't tell me the actual drug that he was on. He just kept saying it was marijuana, and it definitely wasn't marijuana. And I said, you've got to cut that out. That's one of your demons. That's one of the toxins in yourself that you're trying to fill a void with, and that never works. It's just more pain. And so as time went on, and he would have these moments of clarity that were just, I mean, they were profound, and I could see it. And then, man, he'd just go right back into the depths of his void, and he was untalkable to. That's not a word, but I'm using it. I couldn't even communicate with him sometimes, and it was because he was doing methamphetamines, and that shit's a bitch. That will that will cloud your judgment, and that will put up a very strong barrier between you and Source. And I'm not saying one drug is worse than another, but the erratic nature of methamphetamines, we've all seen it. We've seen people dancing and screaming and running themselves against walls, and sometimes those walls aren't even there. It's sad because you want to help people, but there comes a point where you have to use discernment. And so this guy, I would hip him to some esoteric knowledge, and he'd have a burst of clarity, and then he'd come back with some nonsensical rhetoric and say, well, that's just your opinion, man. I was like, no, there are opinions and there are truths. Opinions are this works for me. Truths are this works. And so it finally came down where I told him, listen, I don't mind helping you. I really don't. But you're wasting my time and your own time because you don't really want to go where you think you want to go. You want peace in the easiest possible way. And that's not going to happen. It is easy after you do the hard. I mean, once you do the work and you start unraveling the shadows, the traumas that you've had since childhood, because that's where most of it sparks. That's when we take on the generational trauma and make that our own. But once you get past the hard part, it's just smooth sailing. It's easy because, and then you get little bursts of hard here and there, but mostly it's easy. And so I told him flat out, I can't help you. And he had some inflated idea of who I was, because I'd helped other people in his circle and they had made some actual improvements in their life. And he thought that I was just giving him the drug that makes everything all right. And there is no drug that makes everything all right. There's no process that makes everything all right. You have to go through the pain, man. It's intense. I've been asked why more people aren't doing this, and I was like, because it's painful. Nobody wants to go into that pain, man. It's hard. And I said, and then the outcome is some type of an awakened state, and you don't even know where it is, like, because there are no levels. You're just in some type of better environment for yourself. But I mean, it's hard. It's hard in a weird sort of way, because you have to go and change your mind about things that you've had concrete opinions about your whole life. So you've basically got to go into yourself and go, no, you're wrong. And nobody wants to be wrong. I mean, but that's kind of the problem, is we're all a little bit wrong, and that's fine. So I worked with this guy as much as I could, and I finally had to let him go. And I said, listen, I just can't. It's not that I can't, it's that you won't. And he goes, well, what do I have to do? What do I have to do? I said, well, what you have to do is you need to figure out a way to get off of those drugs, because it's holding you back from your true nature. Whatever it is that you're using as a crutch, you have to leave behind. If you want to heal, you've got to stop accepting the pain. And he says, so what are you saying? I said, you heard what I said. You have to quit. You have to give up. So when you're on the ground, when you're in the gutter, let me know and I'll help you. But you have to be in the gutter. You have to be done with this character that you've been playing your whole life. You have to be done with it. If you're not done with it, it's just going to keep reacting and acting and reacting and acting. And it's a never-ending cycle of misery, because we create our own suffering. Life is however you look at it. You can put a bad label on anything. Oh man, I got $1 million and I got to take care of all of that. I don't want to have to take care of all that. But you got $1 million. You're fine, you know? You asked for it. Whatever happens in your life, you ask for before you ever get into this body. So accept it. Flow downstream. Go with the current. Because if you fight it, you'll drown. So I gave him one last piece of advice before I kind of cut off. And that was, search for the I am. Ask yourself, who the fuck am I? Who am I? Keep over and over again. Make it a mantra. I am. I am. It's a Ramana Maharishi tactic. Nisargadatta got into it too. That lineage was very very definitive as far as gurus go. They were a step beyond, because they weren't really talking too much about scripture or dharma. They were talking only about path. And the quickest way to path is questioning who you are. If you're done playing the character, then be done playing the character. But if you want to do drugs, you want alcohol, you want sex, you want millions of dollars, this isn't the path for you. And that's fine. I've heard it said that enlightenment is a mixture of joy and sadness. That there is no true happiness, especially in enlightenment. There is just a deep understanding of what is. And the fact that you cannot be so arrogant as to believe you can awaken people. Nobody awakens anybody else. The awakening happens within. So what gurus do is they're a finger pointing in the wind at a specific thing, but they can't tell you what it is. You have to go search that out. So this guy, he's had some breakdowns since that time. That was maybe 5 or 6 months ago that I stopped talking to him. Not like not where I'm ignoring him or trying to avoid him or something. I see him. I've seen him here and there, and he gives me a hey, what's up? And I go, all right. Yeah. But he's having breakdowns, and I don't know if he has had himself committed yet, but he was talking about it. He was seeing things. See, that's the thing when you let the demons take over, they really take over. And demons aren't some little dudes with horns and pitchforks following you around. They're energies that attach to you because you are in pain, but you're ignoring it. So he started seeing things, hearing voices, kind of a schizophrenic type pattern. And like I said, I haven't heard about what happened, what the conclusion was, but he was asking people to take him to the mental hospital because he was losing sight of reality. So maybe he's at the bottom, and some therapists can help him with the mundane portions of his psychology, and maybe he'll be ready at that point for someone to teach him, not necessarily me. Because we are our own gurus. Nobody can teach us. We just have others that know, and they point in the direction we should be going. And that's it. So yeah, there's a little sadness, but there's also a little joy in me for the fact that he's realizing that he has an issue. There's a problem. You can't keep spinning tires and hope to get anywhere. You need some traction, and that's what the path is. The path is traction. The path is four-wheel drive. The path is having a friend help you, pull you along. That's what the path is. And if you embrace it, you're going to go through pain and you're going to suffer. But you're also going to find a place of clarity unlike you've ever seen before. There's an assuredness to it. There's a beauty to it. There's a magic, and I mean literally magic, that comes from that. Don't worry about the opinions of others. Don't worry about your character and how people perceive you. Don't worry about waking people up. Don't worry about if you're a starseed or a light bringer or any of the nonsense. You are who you are, and you'll find your route, and you won't need to talk about it. Silence is the best medicine. If you want to get over anything in life, it's through silence. Sitting there and doing the hard work of shutting the fuck up. There's a Zen adage that I've carried with me for probably 30 years. Oh shit, almost 40 years now. It's a Zen adage that says, sit down and shut up. And I love it. I fucking love it because it's the easiest, the absolute easiest path forward. That's the medicine. That's the medication you're looking for. It's not methamphetamines. It's not marijuana. It's not alcohol. It's not sex. It's not any of the placebos, because those are all placebos. They just keep you in the darkness. They make the veil even thicker. The thing you're looking for is stillness. And I've said it in other videos because it's absolutely true. Silence and stillness are the same word. It's absolutely the same word. There's no difference between the two. So sit down, shut up, embrace it. You're gonna have thoughts, but eventually they'll start passing like clouds. You can see them, you can feel them and sense them, but they won't have an impact. They're always there. They come from the ether, but they will start passing like clouds. It's practice every day, baby steps, little piece by little piece by little piece. And eventually you'll get to a place where there is unadulterated quiet. And that's where you get to meet the self. So, as always, much love. Drop comments. Let me know what you're feeling.